guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today, we're going to go ahead and tier every single card in Clash Royale. After the balance changes, we have enough of data to kind of actually make some observations about card strength in the game. So without further ado, there's a lot of cards to get to here, guys. There's a lot to get to. Let's start with the Wizard. I think the Wizard is C tier. Wizard use rates are still very high, 14% on ladder, but the win rates are crappy. They're 46, 45% right now. Barely ever using competitive in challenges. He's an all-right card. You can have success with Wizard, but he's not a superstar, especially in the ranged troop category. Zap is A tier. Zap is always A tier in my mind. Zap's a very, very good small spell deck. Zappies are S tier, baby. Zappies are so good right now, guys. They have a very healthy, almost 60% win rate on ladder. That's very, very high. Their use rate is 7% in grand challenges as well, so really starting to creep more and more into the meta. If you haven't tried Zappies yet, give them a try. They're very, very good right now. The Battle Healer, F tier. Battle Healer is one of the worst cards in the game right now. There are so many better options at 4 Elixir than the Battle Healer, who has a whopping 39% win rate at the time of this recording inside Grand Challenges. That's awful, 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 awful. The Battle Ram, however, is very good right now. I'm going to give the Battle Ram A tier. So Battle Ram, the Bomber, I think the little fella is very, very solid for 2 Elixir. You almost want to go A. I do want to go A- on the Bomber, right? Because 2 Elixir, right? Splash damage, a decent amount of splash damage. Bowler is also A tier, guys. Cannon Car, A tier. Clone, I'm going to put C tier right now. It depends on the deck you're using Clone in. Clone's never been really super meta in the game, but you know, never say never. Actually, Clone has been meta a couple times. Lava Clone has been on top a few times, and Lava Golem's always kind of been a thing, right? So I would say that Clone is a C tier average. It's average. It really says more about the user and their ability to master clone decks than it does. But is mastering clone decks even a thing? Is it even the thing? I don't know. Maybe B tier. Dark Prince, B tier. Dark Goblin, I'm going to go A tier. You guys might think I'm crazy, but the little fella, the little machine gun Dark Goblin, dude, I don't know, man. Add him to the list of cards I hate going against, right? I hate the Dark Goblin. I hate when they drop him at the bridge and you're old and you're an old man and your reaction time's slow. Oh, that's just me. That's just me. Who never catches Dark Goblins ever when they play him at the bridge. If you see me in the arena, just throw a Dark Goblin at the bridge. You'll get a guaranteed fireball damage or more. Archers, I'm going to go B tier. They did get a small buff, which makes them even better than they once were. I thought they were like average. Earthquake, S tier. Is there even any question, about it? Earthquake is so strong right now, man. Ugh. It could be the strongest card in the game. Strongest non-champion card in the game. What about you guys? Earthquake does more damage than Fireball for 1 less Elixir. It's the only thing kind of keeping Pump and Mirror Pump in check a little bit. Earthquake is everywhere and people are upset about it, generally speaking. Electro Dragon is solid. I'm going to give him a B tier. Nothing's really changed with Electro Dragon. Not super meta, but still a decent card to have. The Electro Giant. You guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to put him in F tier with the Battle Healer. We had a pro on Evan last week talking about the Electro Giant, right? And he said he's much worse on the offensive side of the arena, but he does work now as kind of a defensive control method on the defensive side. However, you know, maybe it works for him, which is great. He's a really good player. But his win rates have plummeted after the rework. 33% in challenge, or 44% and 33% respectively in challenges and in ladder. That is an abysmal win percentage right now. The Electro Giant, I think they might have kind of killed them. What about you guys? Electro Spirit, still pretty solid. I'm going to give him B tier. Ewiz, A tier. I mean, what else is there to say about Ewiz? He's incredible. Elite Barbarians, I'm going to give them B tier. Again, they're very popular right now. The win rates are never out of this world with Elite Barbarians, right? But long ago are the days, in my mind at least, where people are super annoyed by Royal Giant and Elite Barbarians, circa 2016, 2017, right? Right now, though, they do have a 52% win rate with an 8% use rate, so not too bad. Elixir Golem, going to be F tier. Card's dead, man. I mean, you can use it, obviously. You can have fun with the card. I still think that the card, as annoying as it is, still a unique kind of different card to have inside the game. So I like the Elixir Golem. I'm not a hater, like probably most of you guys are. However, and you'll notice a theme here, right? Electro Giant, Battle Healer, Elixir Golem, all the cards that people really hate when they're good, they're pretty bad, and that will kind of continue a little bit. So I think that overall, the meta is in some ways healthy. In other ways, well, the Earthquake Mirror everywhere, not so much. We have the Executioner, did see a little buff. I'm going to say he's B tier right now. We have Fire Spirit. I think the little fella is a B tier. It's 1 elixir. It's a 1 elixir card and always gets value, right? Always needs to be responded to as well. Can pose a threat, a nice threat at the bridge, unlike like skeletons, cards like that. So yeah, for 1 elixir, I'll put him in A tier, the little fella. We have Arrows up next, B tier. What is there to say about Arrows? A solid card, right? We have, especially with all the swarm and the 2 kind of waves of arrows, right? Fireball, A tier. Firecracker, B tier. Fisherman is actually back in a big way, seeing him creep back into Flying Machine, I think is B tier. Freeze, I think is B tier. Giant, I think is B tier. And Giant Skeleton is A tier now. Snowball, B tier. Golem Barrel, B tier. Baby D, A tier. I always think that Baby Dragon is just so strong. Goblin Gang, though, F tier. F tier. Yeah, that's right. Goblin Gang, most people are going with guards. Every deck that runs Goblin Gang has, like, on the DL, on the hush, just kind of pushed the Goblin Gang aside and gone with a different option. A whopping 3% use rate, 32% win rate. 32% win rate on the Goblin Gang right now. That's really bad. The Goblin Giant, however, really healthy. Actually, on ladder, number 2 win rate in the entire game is the Goblin Giant, because that one deck that he's used in, Goblin Giant and Sparky, some Goblin Giant double prints too, is very effective, and it's fairly easy to pick up and have success with, especially the Rage version, right? So we'll give him A tier. You can't really lie with the stats. Goblin, I'm going to go F tier. I actually like Goblins a little bit better than Goblin Gang, being that they're 2 elixir, so you could argue maybe C. But they're pretty bad. I don't know. I guess I'll go C. We should really have a D tier just for this reason, right? I think they're kind of in the D tier. But the same thing I said about Goblin Gang, only they do fit in other decks too, like Hog decks and stuff like that. Golem is actually pretty solid right now. I'm going to give Golem, I think we'll give him an A tier. Yeah. Graveyard, I'm still going to say is an S tier card. I mean, I'm biased. I play Graveyard, but the stats do back me up too. The use rates are very high. One of the most popular win conditions in the game at 13% in challenges, 10% on ladder. Win rates over 55% on both areas as well. I don't think the one less skeleton did really impacted much. However, I will note the use rate, albeit 11% right now, is down about 5%. So people seem to be kind of moving away from Graveyard and at least experimenting with other win conditions and archetypes. Guards, A tier. Guards are very handy right now. Heal Spirit will give Heal Spirit a C. Just an average card right now. We have the Balloon. We'll give the Balloon an A right now. Next up is going to be the Hog Rider. Hog Rider, A tier. Hunter, I'm going to say is A tier now. Hunter's actually pretty dang good after the buffs. I think the Ice Golem is one of the best cards in the game. I've been saying that for a long time. The little fella, the little ice monster doesn't get the respect that he deserves. Again, in my opinion, I think he's one of the strongest cards. He's 2 elixir and he can kite. He does a lot, building targeting card. So I'm a big fan of the Ice Golem. Ice Spirit after the buff, I'm going to say B tier, probably C before the buff. I think that the little fella is definitely viable now. I will give him an A tier along with the Fire Spirit. Ice Wizard, I'm going to give Ice Wizard A tier. Ice Wizard, Inferno Dragon, also very good, very healthy win and use rates. Knight, I'm going to say B tier. Actually, I'm going to say C tier. The Lava Hound, A tier, because Lava Hound's always number 1 or number 2 in terms of win conditions on ladder. Lightning, I'm going to say is A tier. I'm tempted to almost go S tier on Lightning, but Bandit, I'm going to go S tier. I think the Bandit is so incredibly good, even after they changed the rework or the glitch or whatever. I think the Bandit is just one of the better legendaries in the game, obviously. So much value for 3 elixir. Always poses a threat. She dashes like a maniac all over the arena. Hate when she does that when I go against her. Love when it happens when you're playing the Bandit. Minion Horde, I'll go F tier. Man, Minion Horde, I just don't... with all the splash, how do you guys handle Minion Horde? Those of you who play Minion Horde, right? Surprisingly, the win percentage is over 51% right now. Use rate's very low, 2%. Maybe I'll go C tier. It would be D. Remind me to add D tier next time, right? Mirror is S tier. Mirror is S tier. I just said that. Those are words that just came out of my mouth. I never thought I'd see the day, but here it is. Behold. Mirror is just so good. Getting 2 extra levels, taking a max card to level 16 or a tournament standard to level 13 is really, really powerful, right? So you could argue they went too far. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, but I don't know. I've said this a few times now. I kind of like the freshness of a Mirror meta. Even when watching pros play, like how pros use Mirror to me is really incredible. I'm sure I'll get sick of it eventually and be calling for a nerf, but right now I'm kind of enjoying it. How do you guys feel? Bar Barrel, I'm tempted to go S tier. I'm going to. I think that Bar Barrel is better than Log right now in the meta as it stands, especially providing a tank for graveyard decks. But it's my favorite small spell in the game right now, so I'm going to give it S tier. Next up is going to be Royal Recruits. I'll go C tier. This is a tough one, guys. This is a tough one. Recruits are really... Nah, I got to go F tier. They're really bad. Ladder, 43% win rate. On challenges, 37% win rate. Use rate to 1 and 2% respectively. Man, recruits had a little bit of time in the sun, right, in the meta, and then it faded away. It faded away. Speaking of S tier, Tornado is still S tier. I've said it so many times here on the channel. I'll say it again. I think that that Tornado is the most dynamic card ever added to the game. I think that we almost underappreciate how powerful Tornado is because, well, we're used to it. We're used to Tornado, but just think of the card. Not just talking about King Tower activations and how that changed the entire game, but also how powerful it can be with as a combo card to so many different cards inside the game right now. It's insane, right? I mean, even the Giant Skeleton, Baby Dragon, I can go through half these cards, right? So I think that Tornado is incredibly strong. Valkyrie to me is still S tier. Still one of the strongest ground cards in the game, despite that very, very, very small haircut to her overall stats. She has a 21% use rate right now, so her win rate is hovering at 49%. So she's maybe just based on that, I should go A. But in my mind, subjective opinion here, I would go S, but we'll go A because maybe it did have a little bit of an effect on her overall win rates at least. But she is being incredibly widely used. Witch is falling off, man. I'm gonna go F tier on Witch. She is one of the lowest cards in the game, third lowest to be exact, with a 33% win rate inside the game, 3% use rate. Queen, S tier, easy. Hey, he's back. The Golden Knight from F tier to A tier. Could probably even make a case that he belongs in S tier as well. Actually, I'm going to make that case. I think he's just back, right? He has a use rate of up 9% to 12% overall. Win rate 57%. That's really high. Skeleton King, same thing. All 3 of the OG champions are S tier right now, and as they should be, right? Uh-oh. I told you I was going to eat crow and say that I got something wrong later on in the video. How about the Mighty Miner? He is abysmal. Really, really bad. Win percentage 37%, use rate 5%. 37% on a champion. That's awful, awful, awful. Mortar, one of the better cards in the game right now. The other end of the spectrum, right? The third best card in the game, 59% win rate, only a 5% use rate, but it's always been that way with Mortar. But Mortar's still an annoying and incredibly good card, both on offense and defense. Guys, there it is. There it is. Every card in the game. What do you agree with me on? What do you disagree with me on? Thank you guys so much for watching until the end of the video. Big shout out to you. Take care, guys.